Welcome in to the Dynasty Deal Show. I am Ty at Ty Declare 44, and I am joined by Scott at Charles Chill FFB and Shane at Shane Says FF on X. Yeah, welcome into the Dynasty Deal Show. We are here Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern. These streams drop earlier on in the day, so you can get your trades in. And if you want your trades on this show, Trades and Chills here, $3.99 a month. Fun. Just sign up, try the member stuff. You get no ads, you get some cool emojis, and you get access to early shows. Gentlemen, you know, I got one rule on this show. If you hear this beautiful little noise, that means we got to wrap it up and move on to the next one. We got some deals in here. So if you're here live, you know, get your trades in, you know, probably take trades the next half hour or so. So we'll see what we can get to. I'm going to start with you here. Good evening. Good evening, Tony. How you doing, Tony Perez? Quick question. Made a trade, 12 team, start 10, super flex. We traded Judkins for Goff. Quarterbacks were Lamar and Purdy only. Shuck in hopes of being my quarterback 3. Running backs are Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Bucky, Monty. I think it was a win. Crazy? I mean, so Purdy, our first quarterback injury, the first opening up in this quarterback market of someone who might want one. As someone who's rolled, you know, 2 quarterback deep, not having that third quarterback, you just hope that Purdy's not the one on your team that goes down and you have to make a move early. But Scott, in this situation here, traded Judkins for Goff. You had Lamar and Purdy. How do you feel?
I'm going to get why he's doing it. He needs a second quarterback. I would probably gauge based on his running backs that his team is probably very good, which actually means I'd be less likely to give up anything of value for Jared freaking Goff. I could probably roll out who is the cheapest quarterback I can get. Can I get Mac Jones? Can I get Spencer Rattler? Can I get anybody cheaper? Because if we're starting Bucky and Achane and our flexes, I'm guessing the receivers here are not bad. And oh yeah, we have Lamar Jackson, who probably is a lock to be QB 5 or better. So it's like that QB 2 spot. Yes, it matters. It matters if like there's 2 other super teams and you're really trying to thread the needle to get that bye. But if not, like a team like this, I have one like this, and I just traded for Mac Jones. I didn't feel the need to go get a replacement, a short-term replacement for Brock Purdy in the form of probably a lesser QB in Jared Goff. And the reality is when Jared Goff and Brock Purdy are going up against each other in my lineup, like I have to now choose between the two, and I'm probably not going to be able to liquidate for anything close to what Twinshot Judkins value could be. So I'm not probably doing this deal. I see why I did it, but like someone asked me today, what's the value of an injured Brock Purdy? And you know what it is? About 15 other QBs that are all the same. And it just sucks that you had the one that was injured, but I'm probably not paying to replace it for a guy probably in the same tier, probably a little bit lower, unless Ty, I can trade Brock Purdy for Jared Goff. And okay, I'm fine doing that. I'm guessing the Goff manager wanted a tax unless they didn't need Jared Goff. Then they're going, you know what? I kind of wouldn't mind getting off Jared Goff for maybe you give me a third. You give me Purdy and a third. I'll give you a Goff. I don't care because I'm not starting the third QB, which in Goff would be that case. I don't like it though. I don't like giving up Judkins. One good game, he's worth a first. And he's probably going to play either this week or the next week. So it's like, it just doesn't feel like I needed to do this because as soon as Purdy comes back, Shane, I now have a problem. I now have Goff and Purdy, and both are historically hard to sell, including the one I just traded for.
Yep. And so yeah, Judkins at least is expendable on this roster, right? Yeah, Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Bucky, sure. Monty. So at least you feel like you're trading from your excess. And there's worse problems to have than having a lineup jam up in week 7, 8, 9, whenever Purdy comes back, right? So like, it's not like, this is not like, I understand totally why you did it, but yeah, like, so Shane, even in these situations where you have a stacked running back room, you're trading from excess. Is that a move that you're trying to do?
No.
And no,
absolutely not. I was listening to Scott's story and it was a good story. I just kept waiting for him to be like, I sincerely hate this trade. Like this, I hate this trade like a mother-in-law. Like it is just not good. There's no need
Shane,
for
in
it.
A startup, somebody would probably draft Goff above Judkins. So I mean, in that regard, sure. But I'm vibing with what you're saying. Yeah. So keep going.
You're reaching though. You know what I mean? Like when you do that in a startup, and I've done that. I've been there. I've gone, oh shit, everyone else has gotten quarterbacks, so let me go draft the least common denominator. That's probably not the right terminology there, but let me draft a
The
quarterback.
lowest in the tier, but you know it's a bad decision. As soon as that
as soon as you
quarterback's
make
on your
it,
team, you regret it.
as soon as you make it, you're like, this is a terrible idea, right? Because I know Goff has had one or two high-end seasons. I forget if last year was a high-end season, to be quite honest with you.
It was. He's been real good, like 3 straight years, but
right. But he's
that's
not
the best. That's the best you're going to get from him, and it's like QB 8.
and he's not a valuable asset in Dynasty. And quite frankly, if I wanted to trade Judkins for him in 3 weeks, I probably could. Yeah, he was QB 7, QB 11 before that. So he's had 2 really high-end seasons especially for him. So yeah, he's fine. But I'm not doing that for Judkins because to your point, he goes out there and runs one game, has one good game, he's worth a first. Like if he goes out there this week, and he probably won't play, but if he were to go out there this week, have 6 attempts for 43 yards and a touchdown, we would cream all over our own faces. Like that's what we would do as a dynasty community because that's what we do. We have the attention span of dying goldfish. So I don't like this deal. It feels like you kind of panicked, right? And if you're going to do this deal, what can I add to Judkins to get a better QB? Because to your point, I don't want to be in this position in hopefully 2 weeks where I'm going, all right, am I starting Purdy or am I starting Goff this week? And every week I'm going to get the answer wrong.
So Shane, would you do Quinshon Judkins and a first for Justin Herbert?
Yeah, I'll do that. Especially now that it looks like Justin Herbert's going to run a little bit. I don't expect that he's going to throw 40 times a game, but he did use his legs a little bit, which has kind of been, I don't know, something that's missing from his game that he has.
I don't mind that idea of kind of packaging him with Quinshon and just aiming higher. If I'm gonna get into quarterback, let's get into a quarterback. Like I don't mind that. I mean, I'm looking at ADP right now. Quinshon's going 4 picks ahead of Goff. So same arena, like you said, probably like a fair value. It's just, yeah, what are you trying to do with that? Because I, in practice, have had a lot of trouble getting more than a liquid first for Goff in many a league. Judkins, yeah, the fuse is there, and the knucklehead tax will go away if he looks good on the field. So, maybe this move you did to move forward these couple of weeks. Maybe there's a better move on the table, though.
We don't care about the knucklehead factor in fantasy. We don't. We sincerely don't.
Like
You know how I know that we don't? Because Tyreek Hill bounced back completely fine. When Henry Ruggs, and not to make light of the situation, but Henry Ruggs went on a speaking engagement over the summer, people started picking him off waivers because they kept going. Well, not kept going, but they go, oh, he's going to be out in 2 years. And people legitimately picked him up. I picked him up just for funsies because other people were doing it and I wanted to do it, but people were legitimately picking him up. So we don't care about the knucklehead factor. We don't.
I just want to add with this comment that Tony said he had no picks till 2028. This would be even more reason not to do it because the loss here is you traded away from a potentially very liquid asset to something that's not liquid. I mean, I think it goes back to, I don't want to belabor this same point, but if you just take this team, Tony, would you now trade Bucky Irving to get CJ Stroud? Would you then trade Devon Achane to get Drake May? Like, would you keep trading? So you had 10 quarterbacks. Even if you won every single one of those trades, there's diminishing returns, right? And there's diminishing returns with a team this stacked. You don't need a good QB2. You just need the lowest what you were trying to get to, Shane, was the lowest common denominator.
There you go. That's
you just need somebody to go, you know what? I can get 11 points. I'm probably still in the driver's seat to win my matchup or be as good as I was before. So it's not the end of the world. But just think about going forward, Tony, with this team. It's already very good. Think about liquidity. Don't think about what I need today. Think about what I can sustain today without having to pay for anything. But how can I push my roster forward? No picks till 2028 is risky with a team like this. It could go south quick, and all of a sudden, like, you got to start liquidating Lamar, Bijan, get your team's blown up just to retool a little bit.
Literally, no one wants to trade with them. Tell me. Fair enough. We've been there, right? We've been there. Also, Sean, Purdy, historically hard to sell. What's your experience, Shane? Like, do you find Purdy's been hard to sell, or just he always like outproducing his price, or what do you find?
I don't have a lot of Purdy, but yeah, looking at him now, like I'm looking at other teams and I'm going, all right, who can I move Purdy to so I have a quarterback to replace him for 2 weeks? And I'm looking at the quarterbacks that I could probably get in return, and it doesn't inspire confidence, right? So that speaks to what is he worth on the open market. And he's probably better than that. He's better than what you can get for him on the open market. He's one of those quarterbacks that's probably a little undervalued, and he's just going to stay that way because whatever, we think he's a system quarterback or whatever it is, whatever reason people don't like him, that's just going to hold, and it's hard to sell him.
Yeah. That's the Lamar effect, though. Yeah, you got Lamar, you can go a little gross the QB2. You don't have to have it figured out all the time and right away. So thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Good luck in a league that doesn't want to trade with you. Let's move on to Sean W. 12-team Superflex, start 10 PPR tight end premium, and it's a 0.5 tight end premium. It's a lineup league. We got to send Pitts for Olave in a 2027 fourth. The wide receivers are Lamb, London, Nico, JSN, Marvin Harrison Jr., Addison, and Reed. The tight ends are Bowers, Pitts, Strange, and Fanning. Any other moves? Shane, if you have a tight end where we got Bowers, Strange, and Fanning, the new love child of Dynasty, or at least of Josh and probably myself. I'm pretty okay to move that Pitts value on a team like that. You're the Olave. You were, I don't know if you still are, like the leader of the Olave train. But how does Olave fit on this team? And is this a deal that you're trying to do like with your tight end room if it looks like that?
So we're moving the tight end because we don't think we can start him for a wide receiver that we can't start. And I love Olave, but we can't pretend the dude doesn't have a significant brain injury history, right? Like literally, like one more shot, this guy could go. Knock on wood. I don't want anything to happen to that dude, but I'm just saying, I get that you're never going to start Pitts over Bowers, but you know what you're going to do this week? You're going to start Pitts because Bowers ain't going to play. Yeah.
Don't you put that evil on me, Shane.
Jeff shared it in the Heisman chat, picture of him standing there with his PCL brace on. Dude hasn't practiced in 2 days. I like Strange, Fanning. It just kind of feels like you're making this move to make this move to get him off your roster, because you're just like, I have too many tight ends today. All right, well, then you're just going to put yourself in a situation where you have too many wide receivers, and you're going to look to do the same thing. If you're doing it because you think you could get more liquid and you think you can move Olave for, say, a running back, because that's the only thing you haven't listed here, so I'm assuming that's not stacked, then fine. But then why not just try to do that with Pitts in the first place, or get a pick for Pitts if you're going to be moving them? So I'd actually pass on this.
Liquidity is the name of the game. Do you feel like Olave is more liquid? Because I don't think either of them are particularly liquid.
Yeah, I don't. And here, Pitts, me and Scott talked about it on Manic and Chill. I'm encouraged by what I saw from Pitts. It's not just the target share; it's the fact that he didn't leave the field at a high rate as he has in the past. He was significantly had a higher snap share than he has in the past. So I'm pretty bullish on him.
So, Scott, you got Lamb, London, Nico, JSN, and Marv. That's 5 right there. You have Addison, who's going to be coming back from suspension. You got Reed with now a broken collarbone, maybe a late season play. Does Olave fit in that room for you? Does that, when you get Olave, are you then trying to move one of these other wide receivers that actually has the name appeal? I guess let's go back to the jump, though. Are you moving like your Pitts for Olave on a team like this?
I mean, I'm neutral to it. I mean, if you look at after week 1, first of all, it's a 1.5 premium. So you got to be like a top 10 tight end to be in the range where you're willing to flex these guys. Now, the good news is after week 1, between Pitts, Strange, and Fannin, you probably have like 3 of the tight ends that you're kind of encouraged could fit into that category. Oh, yeah, and you have Brock Bowers. So you're flush at tight end. Now, the other good news is Jordan Addison is probably better than Chris Olave, or at least equal, and he's your wide receiver 6, and he's going to come back in week 4. So if I just count those 2 things on a one list, we have 6 receivers, and now we have potentially 4 tight ends. 1 that's always going to be in my tight end slot. So we basically have like 9 players for 2 flex spots in a start 10, assuming you have to start 3 receivers. So we have a lot of players. We have excess players. We don't need all of these guys. Every week, this team is sitting here going, man, who should I flex between Pitts, Strange, Fannin, Marv, Addison? I mean, it's a nightmare, right? Like, you have too many good players. And I have a bunch of teams like this where you sometimes have to just sit back and go, I know there's going to be attrition on the season. I know there's going to be a couple weeks where I don't feel great about my lineup because I've had to force in my last receiver or my 3rd tight end. Like, that's going to happen. But for the most part, you have a good enough team to sustain liquidating like 2 of these pieces. Now, if Sean thinks he can liquidate Olave easier than he can Pitts, go for it. But the goal should be, okay, now that I have this 7 receiver and 2 good flex, I mean, there's probably no better 2 tight ends that you can have after week 1. Maybe You put Pitts in there. Maybe Hunter Henry's one people want to buy, but like Brenton Strange and Harold Fannin are getting a lot of steam as people are excited about both of them. So you have a lot of pieces you can sell. Now, the problem is you go, who wants Fannin? You might be able to sell Fannin in something for a first. That's possible, but you got to try. I bet you can sell Marvin Harrison for a first, but you have to go put in the work. But I would recommend liquidating something off this team. Even if it's Strange plus Addison for a first or something like that. I want to liquidate, though. This team's already really good. What makes it better is having flexibility, and that's not in the form of guys like Chris Olave or Brenton Strange. They seem flexible now until two bad games and an injury, and you're going, I don't even want these guys anymore. Just like Jaden Reed. So work on liquidity. If you could get more for Olave's liquidity, then go for it, Sean. I don't hate it in that regard, but that's got to be the theory.
Yeah. I'm looking here like, what can I add a Fanning to Marv and go get like Drake London in a second? Like, can I squish some of those things together to consolidate? But the point of it is, how can I get some liquid picks here? So I agree. I don't know what the rest of your market looks like, but really, yeah, if there's any opportunity to move some of these players into picks, I'm here for it. And adding an Olave now, that means again, like maybe I'm looking higher at my wide receivers. I've got that Olave now. Now let's get him in my lineup. So what else can I do with the rest of my team? Anything else stand out to you on this one here, Shane?
No. I like Scott's point about attrition, and that was kind of my point too. It's like I'll have to make a move today. Like I need to make moves on teams where I'm borderline and I want to make a move. Like, all right, like I'm trying to get me 2 starters so I cannot be borderline, or I need to move 2 starters so I can get to the bottom. But like your team is really good. I'm not in a rush to move players off the roster that I don't need to.
Quarterbacks, Allen, Mahomes, and Kyler. Running backs, Achane, Hall, Henderson, Connor.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
You are deep as hell.
Yeah.
you got about 14 assets in a 12 by 10.
So then I'd probably be looking to move Pitts for a pick, or I'd move Fannin for a pick, or I'd move Strange for a pick if I'm moving anyone, because that's what I need. I don't need anything else right now. Now, running back, we already know that's a brutal position, but right now I don't need anything.
How about Mahomes? Go to the Purdy manager. Can I get Purdy in a first for Mahomes? Oh, yeah, I'll just start Kyler Murray until Purdy comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's where you have a strength. Like, take advantage of the fact that, I mean, Ty, you would agree. Is there anything better than when you have a flush roster that's already constructed? You can absorb the suspended Rashee Rice, the injured Brock Purdy, and as long as you get the right tax, you have no problem that they're not available for the next month or 6 weeks or even rest of the season. Like, that roster is gross. I mean, you're never going to run out of pieces. Now, you may not start the right 10 every week, but you're never going to get to a point where I don't have enough good players to start. So start shedding some of those pieces. De-risk yourself. Take other people's risks off their hand as long as they're willing to pay you a high interest rate.
Yeah, Sean, most of my decisions in fantasy are trying to remove headaches from my Sunday mornings. So this would be a team that definitely causes me headaches, but you have a lot of pieces to work with there. I love that idea. Move that Mahomes for a Purdy plus. Like, yeah. And that's almost the beauty of like being a rebuilder is when you're not obsessed with having the points in your lineup, you can be free and you can take advantage of things. You also get that from being constructed correctly. So this team is constructed well. You can play with them. You can now play where you can zig when others are zagging. So have fun with it, Sean. And thanks for the questions. All right, Cameron V. Question for Scott and Ty. Shane, you answered this in league chat already, so you can tune out for a bit.
Okay.
So Scott, 14 teams, start 11. It's a 6 -2 quarterback scoring and a 0.25 point per carry with a 0.15 first down bonus. It's tiered PPR, so we got 0.5 for running backs, 1 for wide receivers, 2 for tight ends, and a 0.25 first down bonus. It looks like for tight ends. So tight ends have a nice little boost. The team: Baker, Rodgers, Flacco, Russ. We got Gibbs, Genty, Hunt, Ford, and any running back on a 53. Tet, Ibuka, Thielen, Kirk, Bird, and Cans. Njoku, Muth, and Cans, all future picks. Trade away Achane, Godwin, and Wentz for Ibuka, Hunt, and Muth. Thoughts? So again, 14 by 11, 6 -2, 0.25 PPC. We got the tiered PPR, some first down bonuses. Trading away your Achane, Godwin, and Wentz for Ibuka, Hunt, and Muth. Well, Ibuka is the love child of fantasy, and Achane is probably the best scorer of the group. So on this team, I guess, What matters more to you, the liquidity, the points, and how do you feel about the deal?
Ooh, just going through this piece by piece. I think we can probably wash, Carson Wentz included. I get it's a 14-teamer, so he does have some roster value, but he's probably the least valuable piece in the trade. Kareem Hunt's not too far behind that, although in this format, like he is any RB on a 53, and he's probably borderline flexible in a format like this, 14 by 11 with this running back scoring. Like I could probably do worse than have him for his 10 carries in my lineup. It probably gives me some points, but really it's Achane and Godwin for Igbokwe and Freiermuth. Freiermuth's not a bad asset in this type of format either, with the it's not quite 2.25, but somewhere 2.1, something like that tight end premium. Freiermuth's not sexy, but when he chalks up every year of just, 60 for 600, you're going to go, that's like 13 points per game or whatever it is. Like it's not awful. Achane versus Igbokwe though. I'm with you, Ty. If you're not scared that I think we have this, and I'm starting to get better at this, and it's hard to articulate it to a group that is so used to just being scared of every running back possible. But like, as long as Achane's career doesn't end, like when his rookie contract ends, he's probably going to outscore most receivers year after year after year. Now, we might get into year 5 of Achane, and you do not at all feel good about his future, his role on a specific team, his role with the coach. Like it's going to be a rocky road, just like it is with Breece Hall and many running backs that are already in that range or close to it, right? But it sure feels good when they're still putting up top 10 running back numbers because it's blowing away. Hell, RB8 is right up there with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase in a 0.25 first down bonus league. Like it's so hard for receivers to keep up. But man, what can you do with that Igbokwe? Can I turn around, hold Igbokwe for a year? He's wide receiver 7 in Dynasty next summer. And then I go, man, somebody's willing to give me Jonathan Taylor and a first for Igbokwe and a second. And then I come out on the other end with an even higher potential score and a first in the back pocket. That's what my goal is. But I actually think Achane, if he survives through his rookie contract and beyond, like he's going to be a better scorer almost always than Igbokwe is. And that's no slight on Igbokwe. It's just the format.
Yeah, just make this deal, and then can I trade Igbokwe for Achane and a first? No, but that's I think it does come down to how risk averse you can be, because it is true. There's a lot of scaredness. That's not a word I'm turning to Shane. There's a lot of fear about running backs, their longevity. Last year was awesome, so is this year going to be different? I'll tell you what. Just even seeing the Achane fears when his calf was sore in preseason. Right. That's how quickly the floor can fall out on that. So if my goal is liquidity, safety, whatever, then yeah, I might try to find my way into Igbokwe. But on this team, Gibbs, Genty, I'm okay being heavy at running back, especially in this format. Because if I'm rolling out Gibbs, Genty, and Achane week over week, I can figure it out with Tet, Thielen. Like we'll piece together a wide receiver room. But I agree, man. Like in this format, 2 and a 0.25 first down, Freiermuth is going to be probably a flexible option. So if your goal is to fill out the lineup and to stay flexible, then I can definitely see the Igbokwe and Muth side. If I had to plant my flag, I'll take the Achane side and then bet that Godwin fits this team well once he is healthy and playing, and I can make a move maybe down the line. But yeah, anything else on this one, Scott?
No, it's a fair deal. Like if you're even having to debate it, it's probably a fair deal for Igbokwe because he is one of those assets right now that if you told me I just want him because I can go do more, I'd be fine with it. But people say that and then they have him and they go, man, I'm going to go try to pull the wool over somebody's eyes and go, I can go get a hammer running back in a first. And they go, not in this format. I'm not going to give away Jonathan Taylor plus for your Igbokwe, even though it's Igbokwe. You really got to know the league and how they're going to treat an asset like that, because it sounds great on paper until you get into your league bartering room, and then it's not as much.
Yeah, Shane, what did you say for this one? Do you remember?
Dude, I have no idea. I traded away Chain, Godwin, Wentz for Igbokwe, Hunt, and Muth. I probably didn't like it.
Depends on what day, what time during the week.
No, I mean, I'm just trying to think there. Like you already know how I feel about a chain. Right. I don't like the fact that you had to add Godwin in this deal. Obviously, I don't care about Wentz.
I honestly think Freiermuth outscores Godwin, which is crazy. But in a 2.2 premium or whatever it is, like
maybe, but I doubt
to have 50 for 500. Like you could just pencil it in, and you do the math. That's 150 points before touchtowns.
If you could get there,
TD.
What do you have 3 targets last week? Here's the thing. He's not. I'm just saying he's not the Muth is not the number one targeter in Pittsburgh. And I don't know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be tossing up the ball as much as they did last week. So I don't even know if the raw targets are going to be there.
Here's the other thing, Shane. If you're trading away Igbuka, I mean, wouldn't you guys agree that a lot of what Igbuka benefits from is not having Godwin there, right?
Yeah.
So I like if you're getting rid of Igbuka, give me Godwin. It's like doubling down on the bet that I'm making that Igbuka's not going to produce like he did in week 1 going forward. I kind of like that.
Yeah. And imagine all the stacked Ohio State receivers on the same team today. Is the one we want most is Igbuka. Yeah.
It's because he's the newest. Because honestly, if you went back to this time last year, it was Marvin Harrison. The year before that, it was JSN. Like it's just, dude, they're just ridiculous.
Garrett Wilson the year before that.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. Next year, it's going to be what, Carnell Tate, and then we're all just waiting until 2027, right? So just they are a factory, man. They are a true factory.
Chris Henry Jr. in 2029.
Chris Henry Jr. Jesus, how old?
Can't wait, baby. Can't wait. Shouts out to Lee, GEGP boys. Shouts out to you and Savage FF.
What's up,
if you don't
Savage?
know, now
Actually,
you know.
On that site, right? Well, one of the sites that I'm clicking on back and forth. It's always up on my URL, my little bar, my tabs. It's always one of my tabs that's open.
I feel like you're like a 17 tab person. Roy G, 12 team start 11 lineup. It's a tiered PPR with a 0.25 point per carry. The team after the trade is Rodgers, Fields, Purdy, Bijan, Hampton, Judkins, Caleb Johnson, Caleb, J. Will, not Jameson Williams, Javonte Williams, and Warren. We got BTJ Chase, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, Kincaid, Muth, and Arroyo, all picks, and an extra 27 first. So Roy traded away James Cook and Burrow for Purdy, Hampton, and a 2027 first. Oh, where did that go? Understanding big downgrade at quarterback, but feel getting Hampton in the 27 first gives me the ammo to do what's needed in season. So Shane, click through your tabs here. Okay. Cook and Burrow for Purdy, Hampton, and a first in a 12 by 11 tiered PPR, 0.25 point per carry. It's nice getting Hampton in a first. James Cook is also probably just going to be James Cook, maybe minus a few touchdowns. Burrow is Burrow. How do you feel here?
I mean, it's that Burrow part, right? So, like, is it 20? I would take Hampton over Cook. I think everybody and their mom would, and even their dad. So, and I think that's pretty comfortable. Like, I think that's if we had points, I'm just going to come up with a Shane point system. That's at least a 400 point difference, for whatever that's worth. Is that more than the difference between Burrow for Purdy and at first, though? I don't know. I really don't. I think I lean the Purdy Hampton 27 first side. It is a huge downgrade from quarterback. It really is. What were the other quarterbacks on his roster?
Yeah. So Rodgers, Field, Purdy. That's probably a team where I might try to aim high at quarterback and get into a Burrow, but I also don't want to do it at the expense of all my liquidity, my sexy assets.
Right. And then you get to pair him with Chase. That's part of it, right? AJ Brown, Chase, DK, Keenan, Bijan, Hampton, Judkins, Caleb. I don't know. I don't think I'm doing it. I don't.
From a pure point standpoint, man, like Cook and Burrow will probably win that. Purdy's going to come back. There's going to be questions about San Francisco health all year. And so what is he return to? Who knows? Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to have any kind of rushing piece with the turf toe? Probably not. Who knows? Hampton in a first is awesome, but I feel like if your goal is to win right now, like Burrow and James Cook do that for you. And if I can get rid of that Purdy headache, go up to Burrow, again, but Scott, then you're sitting there, you got Rodgers and Fields sitting there, and you have to choose between them. Typically I'm trying to maybe thin that out versus adding a third quarterback to the mix. Where are you leaning here? Cook and Burrow, Purdy, Hampton in a first?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, obviously, I'll just say this. If it's a healthy Purdy, I would take that side. Because Hampton will never be a good receiver. He'll never be used in the passing game, not under this system. But this is the format I want him. This is the format where if he ever has a 310 carry season for 15 touchdowns, he smashes everybody. He smashes peak Chase in this league. So this is a massive, I think, win for what could be with Hampton. And I think even straight up Hampton versus Cook the rest of the season is not terribly far off in a point per carry. So those are a wash. Kind of comes down to like, what else can I do with that first? And I'd be fine with a quarterback room of a healthy Purdy, Fields, and then Rodgers if I need somebody else. So I think the benefit here is I assume this deal happened after we knew Purdy was banged up. If it was before, then I totally get why I would do it. After, this does feel like, on the contrary, Shane, if I had an injured Purdy and I could get out of him for this type of value right now, I mean, they say he's going to be back in a couple weeks, but like this injury he has, they've already ruled him out for almost a month. So to think, oh, he's just going to come back and smash, like he could, but this could be, the start of one of those just chaotic seasons for Purdy. They already have tons of injuries on their offense. Like if he had a down year, one of his worst fantasy years, it wouldn't shock me. You know what I mean? So being able to cash that token in and just get Burrow, yeah, I gave up the first, but I assume if it's his first, this team, I don't know what the other team looks like, but guessing the other team wasn't like trying to tank. So they're probably looking at that first, like, yeah, I can give it up and maybe worried about filling it somewhere else afterwards. So I don't hate this if you got credit for the injured Purdy. But I see his process. Like he's probably going, you know what? I saw enough from Rodgers and Fields that I'm going to ride them for a couple more weeks. He's hoping that, 2 to 4 games missed for Purdy is like 2 games. And then he's back by the time Rodgers has his bye in week 5 and all is good. And now you have a healthy Purdy plus the pick in the back pocket. I think it's a fair deal though. I don't think it's that much of a smash because a healthy Purdy's pretty good. Not Burrow, but it's not, top 12, top 10. You know what I mean?
That's not a smash deal at all, right? That's one of those like you really have to think about. Like I just sat there, like literally, like I have to give an answer, right?
You have to have a plan.
Yeah.
If you're getting the Purdy side, you got to know there's risk with what you're getting. You could be hurting at quarterback. What did we talk about 10 minutes ago with Purdy? He's not that. If he's got a lingering injury and he's not playing well, Ty, it's not like you're going to go, oh, I'll just trade him and get Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? Like you're stuck. You now have to make another quarterback move and someone's going to go, hey, you want to give me that 27 first for Goff? And you're like, I don't want to, but I kind of committed to having this quarterback filled with somebody more competent than Aaron Rodgers, and you might have to bite the bullet. But I see the risk. I don't hate it.
Yeah. If you're sending away Burrow and James Cook, I'm just going to assume that 27 first is probably going to be a playoff pick, unless things go horribly wrong. I will take Hampton over Cook. I feel like Hampton's a lot more flexible. And yeah, if your goal is to, hey, just let me ride with Rodgers and Fields, I'll put Purdy on the back burner once he's back. Maybe that lines up with bye weeks and we're gold and you don't got to make a headache decision all year. Sweet. But like Scott said, you got to do it with a plan. And I mean, with this team, you have options where you can move around and you're not out of it by any means. And you just added a little more flexibility with that first. So I know Roy has a process and Roy will keep moving and shaking. So good stuff, Roy. Yes, just like that, Shay. McShamus, 14 teams, start 11, super flex. It's a 4-1 quarterback scoring. We have May, Kyler, Dak. We got, oh goodness, we got Judkins, JCM. We got Bill, Caleb, Aaron Jones, Najee. We got Rome, Travis Hunter, Downs, Jaden Higgins, Godwin. We got Hunter Henry, Mason Taylor, 426 first, 426 seconds. Most of the league undervalues quarterback due to the 4-point quarterback scoring. Two owners are interested in May, but only one is actively engaging. We've gotten to May in a second for Adams, Worthy, a mid-26 first, but it feels light. Thoughts? 14 teams start 11, Shane. I'm going to need more than Adams, Worthy, in a mid-first for my May in a second, personally. just from a scarcity standpoint. And I get Worthy could come back, play sooner than we think, and he's going to be awesome. But I've learned very quickly that it's in 14 team leagues, it's haves, it's have nots. And I usually want to be dealing from a spot of strength and solid construction versus kicking away my May for some wide receivers that I can replace at different levels. How do you feel here?
Drake May still a top 7 quarterback on KTC. I mean, I haven't checked, but it's probably light. Now, what sucks is it's 14 by 11, right? So you do need a ton of starters. So it'd be nice if Worthy wasn't injured, because then I'd be like, well, look, I just added 2 wide receivers, and then this first, maybe I could go use that to go try to buy another quarterback off of one of these teams that's probably a bottom feeder, if they know they're going to be a bottom feeder. But right now I can't do that because Worthy's going to try to play through it, right? Which doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. I don't know. Like I have a shoulder injury. I don't play football. I can't lift my arm over my lift my bag, my laptop bag over my shoulder without it injuring it, being hurt, and me double overing in pain. So I don't know how this dude's going to play football and expect to get better this season. So yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah. Yes, quarterback 7 for May on Keep Trade Cut Chain.
Yeah.
Scott, 14 by 11. How do you usually approach that? And quarterback in the second, Adams, Worthy in a first.
So here's the problem. His team's terrible. That team's not winning when you're starting Josh Downs, Jaden Higgins, Chris Godwin's not playing. Your best players are Roma Dunze and probably Aaron Jones. Those are your only 2 starters, maybe JCM. Now that literally there's nobody else on his team at running back that's any good. Like, this isn't a contending team, which is evidenced by the fact that he has 4 firsts and 4 seconds. He's clearly not planning on winning. And here's the key thing that I think you guys are both overlooking. Is it the league doesn't value quarterbacks, or you haven't gotten what your mind says you should get for one of your quarterbacks? Because if the former is true, I take the package for May because I should be able to turn around and buy a Dak Prescott any day I want because the league doesn't value them. So if you're saying, oh, well, if I needed a quarterback, no one would give me one because they value all the ones they have, that's different than they don't value quarterbacks. What you're saying is they will not pay the absurd premium that I think they should pay in a 14-teamer to get my Drake May, so I want to hold on to it. Now, if you just want to hold on to your 3 QBs, pray that they both or all 3 hold exactly where they are today into next year, you're going into 2026, flush at quarterback. You feel great. You know what I mean? You have 3 top 15 QBs, and you have 1 young one that probably should be able to carry the value in your position room for a while. Dak and Kyler are like, if they're good and they're starting, they're putting up points, they're fine. But nobody probably really wants those guys. So it's really May. That's not the one that I'm shocked people are after. I don't hate the deal, though. I don't hate Worthy as an investment piece. I don't hate a first as an investment piece. You'd think if the league, quote unquote, doesn't value quarterbacks, I should be able to trade Devontae Adams because they value other things besides quarterback. So if that's the case, why can't I wait till there's another injury and then get another injured player and another second for Adams? Then I look at a team that's really stacked going into next year, and I have 5 firsts. Guess what I'm probably able to get? Like a Cam Ward or a Michael Penix. There's going to be somebody like that in the draft, and I backfill that QB3 spot there. So it really just comes down to how you want to build your QB room. I'm with you, Ty. If you have these 3 starters and they hold where they are today into next year, you're feeling great. But I actually think this kind of speaks to what he was saying. If you can't start a question with the league doesn't value quarterbacks and then turn down a package of 2.5 firsts for a quarterback, like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So I don't mind hating it, or I don't mind taking the deal. You just got to have a plan, like always.
Yeah. Mick Seamus is in the building, so maybe you can let us know, hey, like, is it truly like I'm just not getting what I think, or is everyone else doing that? Are you seeing that? Because if that's the case, I agree. Give me the package. Let me go get, a Geno Smith, and I'll figure it out week over week. I'm going to be just fine with that quarterback room.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll come back to Mick Seamus. I know you got some other ones here. How about some Dylan Ebenstein or Ebenstein? I don't know if we ever really confirmed, but our man, 12-team Superflex, start 11, number 1 on Dynasty Daddy, and just lost Purdy. Only other quarterbacks, Lamar and backups. Decent place to be. Just got offered Stafford for Bateman and a second. The second is the only pick I have in 2026. Shane, this is where, hey, you need a quarterback too. I'm going to put you over a barrel. Bateman and a second for Stafford. Are you paying the iron price if you need the quarterback start this week?
So I don't have another player on my roster that can get me 9 points, as opposed to the 12 points that Stafford's going to get me. I mean, I don't care about Bateman. Can I move Bateman for? I can't move Bateman for what's that guy's name? Mac Jones.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It just seems like there's Mac Jones, right? There's Joe Flacco. There's not Daniel Jones, not this week. There's other quarterback options that I'd rather try to take a shot at. Let me see what you got. Oh, I undersold. I've undersold Matt Stafford. He gave you 14 points per game last year. I don't know. What else is out there is my first inclination. I don't want to give up my only 26-second for him. Again, I don't care about Bateman. I'm probably just going to hold off. I don't want to do this. I just don't.
And Scott, that's your only pick in 2026. And we know how valuable those picks can be if you just hang on to them throughout this early part of the year, get to the trade deadline, get to bye weeks. Like, people are going to choose a direction and they're going to want picks at that point. I don't know if I want to blow that second and a Bateman just to get the quarterback starting Stafford this week.
Yeah, Dylan. I mean, it's technically not an overpay because Bateman is an asset that is only valuable to your team. I mean, like, you have Lamar. The one team that I would want Bateman on would be the team that has Lamar, because you might need to throw him in there sometimes and you have the stack. So he's probably not valuable to anybody but your team, right? So I'd keep Bateman because he's not an asset. Like, I don't even know if you could liquidate Bateman for a third. That's how little he has value. He's worth more to you than what he is to the market. A second for Stafford. You need a quarterback. Like, do I really want to give up my pick for Stafford? No, but it's a fair offer. I think what we do is we overestimate, like Shane was hinting at, even though I'll say it in a different way, we overestimate how little that quarterback two, when they are a shitty quarterback two, like Stafford, matters to your team. And I'll just speak from my own experience, Dylan. I have a ton of teams where I am the one that has extra quarterbacks. I have an extra Mac Jones. I have an extra Spencer Rattler. I can't find a person that even needs one, right? So I know when I'm in a position where I need one, I should be able to go to one of those teams and go, listen, I need to get a quarterback from you. You know I need one. You can see my roster. I don't have a second one. But what can I give you that doesn't really hurt my lineup, but can help you somewhere down the road? And usually if they're pragmatic, they're willing to give you one of their, hell, Mac Jones and Rattler are the QB 4 and 5 on some teams. The only thing they're trying to do is just hold out and go, this is what I need, or I'm not trading with you. That's not how I play Dynasty. I'm just surprised there isn't another market. I think maybe he's targeting Stafford specifically. Dude, I'm going for anybody, Give me Mac, give me Rattler, anybody. Go down the line. Joe Flacco, can I get him? Can I get Aaron Rodgers? Like, I'd legitimately rather have all of those guys, except for probably Mac Jones and Rattler, over Matt Stafford. But I mean, I should be able to get Mac Jones for less. It might not be Bateman, but do you have, I don't know, do you have Kyle Williams? Can you get Mac Jones for him? Like, whatever it is, be creative though. Just get a body, but I'm not paying the second. I think the whole point was avoid the second. I don't need to pay the second.
Yeah, that's definitely the takeaway. Because you could move Bateman for Mac Jones for sure, but it's also an early trade deadline, week 11. So quarterback 3 might be a need after week 11. We can figure that out, as we get through the season. We don't have to have that perfect today. I think I'd still rather have that second and try to figure out in a cheaper way. So if Bateman for Mac Jones is on the table, that's awesome. I don't know on that team. Like, are you making that deal if you already have your quarterback set, just making that deal anyways and getting Mac Jones?
Ty, you know how I play. I'd rather have, if I can convert a wide receiver 50 into a backup quarterback that, was a former first rounder that's in a good situation, that is young enough that could move into a better situation. Like, give me that backup. I value Mac Jones over Rashad Bateman straight up. So do the deal. And the fact you get to start Mac Jones for a couple weeks, even better.
Kyle Shanahan gets his guy. Would love to see it. Cool. Well, thank you, Dylan. Appreciate it. All right. Let's go. About 15 minutes left. We'll start to hit these a little bit quicker. Scott, gonna start with you here. Mick Sheamus, 12-team start, 10 Superflex, 0.75 tight end premium, 5 -1 quarterback scoring. Goff, Fields, Gibbs, Barkley, Henry, Chase, Nico, Pickens, Mooney, Burden, Palmer. We got Strange, Otten, and Schultz, and Mason Taylor at tight end. No first, 2 seconds and 26, 2 thirds and 26, and all of his 2027 picks. Full contention mode. Before the season, sold his 26 first for Fields, then moved Evans and Tesla and a second for future ammo, and use Mooney. Would you tear off Barkley for Cook and a 26 first or similar? Scott, I know I said we're in speed mode here, but I was driving on Tuesday and I accidentally started listening to a Mannequin Chill from November of last year. And let me tell you, the points were still pretty salient. I thought I was listening to a current podcast from YouTube, and the conversation was around Barkley. His worth is what is that guy doing for your lineup right now, even up on the Barkley level, right? And your price is how much does it cost to buy that person off of that other roster? You're not getting into Barkley for future flexibility. And as we get through the season, like those buyers are going to start to dry up, where those who are actually going to pay that price for Barkley is probably going to diminish. So you got to be smart if you're making a bet like that. So Scott, would you tear off Barkley for Cook and a 26 first or a similar deal on a team like this in a 12 by 10?
The answer quickly, McShamus, is yeah. I think with where your team is, that is almost the dream return for Barkley. It could burn you. If he is the best player in fantasy like he was last year, it might hurt your team from being able to repeat or win the title. But if he just slips a little bit, this deal is not going to burn me. In fact, you have like 4 or 5 other, what would you call them, like golden ticket players on your team that are really going to drive whether you win. Like it's probably Chase, Henry, Gibbs, Fields, Nico. Like it's not like everything's relying on Barkley. I get it. Your roster looks sexier with Barkley, but you add Cook in there and you just keep a first for a rainy day, which you currently do not have. I think I'm doing that. And I know people would go, you know what? If Barkley's going to smash, I would give up my first in James Cook, but I'm taking James Cook in the first with where your situation is. I think you have just as good of a chance to win.
All right, well, Shane, same team. McShamus asked her about Barkley. Well, there we go. We just had that done. But just got offered Cook a 26 first and a 27 first for Gibbs. Is Allen, Tua, Bucky, Cook, Metcalf, Ibuka, Waddle, Diggs, Cup, Kelsey, and no real bench on that team. Do you feel good betting against that team? 2 first and Cook for Gibbs. What are you thinking?
He has Allen, Bucky, Cook, Metcalf, Ibuka, Waddle, Diggs, Cup. Oh,
so that's the team he's trading with, right?
Yeah, that's the first he's getting.
Yeah,
that's a dream pick set.
He's going to have Allen, Bucky, and Gibbs. It's a nice little threesome.
I think Ibuka,
yeah, and Metcalf. Look, he's got M Waddle. Look, so he has a decent wide receiver room. I'll say that. I can't not pay. How do you not take 3.5 first for a player?
You make sure you get that one, and then you just don't do that Barkley deal quite yet. I didn't even see the second one. Do that one first.
You have to. I mean, you're almost duty bound, right? So if someone's offering you, it's basically 3.5 firsts worth of value for a player, but one of those, we'll call Cook like 1 2/4 first. He's giving you an approximation of what you're going to get out of Gibbs too. Like, I don't know how you can pass this up, and it's just there's no way to. There's no logic behind saying no other than you want to have Gibbs as babies. You know what I mean? Like that's the only reason you hold on to it. Otherwise, you got to make this deal.
We all have our reasons. Babies might be one of them, but we appreciate it, McShamus. All right, Scott, Russell Yost brings us a 12-team start 10. It's a 0.5 PPR, 4-point passing touchdown with no tight end premium. Got to give up Kyler, Neighbors, and a late first to get Jaden Daniels and Ladd McConkey. The team is Lamar, Kyler, Dak, Stafford, Saquon, Genti, Cook, Hampton, Hendo, Neighbors, BTJ, Amon-Ra, Olave, Engram, Henry. We got 4 future firsts in the back pocket. This is a team coming from a strength, probably a team you're looking to consolidate on. Is that what you're looking to do with Kyler's Neighbor and a late first to get into JD and Ladd?
Ooh. So the Daniels little injury scare aside, I'm doing this deal to get Jaden Daniels just based on the value alone. Then I look at your quarterback room and it's like, I don't have to do this deal. This is not how I have to spend my assets. I mean, Neighbors over Ladd. Probably wouldn't add a first to Ladd to get Neighbors, but some people would. So call it basically like 2 first difference here. But I do think you still have a lot of flexibility. If you can turn around and move Dak, I mean, if you could turn around and move one of those running backs for a first, like this team has a lot of assets. So you're kind of trading from a lot of volume strength to even higher end strength. I mean, adding Jaden Daniels to this team and still rolling out that receiver room plus adding Ladd to it. I mean, it's already a disgusting team. We have multiple firsts. So I'm fine doing it. If you just say I want a team of Lamar and Jaden Daniels, and it's a 4-point per passing touchdown league, and I'll just figure out the rest with all my other assets, I'm fine doing it. It's a good price.
I'll tell you what, it feels good once you have that team. Just locking that in every week does feel good. Yeah, you could try to add, Dak, Cook, and Engram. Can you go get an elite tight end? Can you go get another running back? Like you get a first and a player back. Like you have enough here from volume wise. You can definitely, you already have 4 future firsts. You clearly know the plan here. So just keep doing what you're doing. This team is pretty nasty, Russell. So keep having some fun there and go enjoy your elite quarterback room. All right, Shane, 12-team Superflex start 11 from Lawrence Brouchar. 6-point passing touchdown, big play bonuses. You got to start 2 tight ends, and it's a 0.75 tight end premium. Traded a 26 second for Fannin. Yes, please. Then traded Godwin and Mixon for a 26 second and third. I need to know where you're at on the Fannin love. Have you tuned up at all? Are you still kind of like where you were at earlier in the week on Fannin? And then Godwin and Mixon for a 26 second and third.
Look, Wednesday was so long ago. I don't even know. I think I was in the range of I was okay with giving a second for him, right? I was there.
I believe you were there.
Yeah. If I'm not, then reality has struck me in the face like reality does. And that's his value. Like that's if you want to get him, you're gonna have to pay at least that. So if that's all it takes, do it. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm in a world where I had to buy Juwan Johnson today for a second in a 2.0 tight end premium, not double tight ends, just 2.0 tight end premium. But I think it start 2 tight ends too. So I get it. You know what I mean? If I could have gotten Fannin for that second, it would have been him. But I wasn't able to, so I went with Juwan. But yeah, that if you can get him for that, do it.
And then Godwin and Mixon for a 26 second and third.
Yeah, I hate moving off Godwin, but there's no world where Godwin's ever going to be worth a first again. And if you wanted some liquid capital right now, in case you wanted to do some buying, doesn't hurt to have that.
Yeah. I sent out a Fannin deal on almost every single team that I have. Let me tell you, the price of the brick has gone up. Okay. Like it's like a 26 second feels like a far cry. So I love that one. So Scott, feel free to roast him on this one. 12-team start 10, 1.0 PPR, 0.5 tight end premium. Traded Charbonnet and Tootin for Fannin and the 201. Does have Bowers, but thought the ADV of Van and liquidity of 201 more flexible. I mean, Zach Charbonnet or Tootin, I'm taking the 201 probably over one of them, and I'm 1.5 tight end or 1.5 total tight end PPR. Fannin or one of them, I might lean the running back, but also I'm probably just going to lean into Fannin. So I kind of want the Fannin 201 side. Like, how are you feeling on this one?
Yeah, I think if you put these assets like in a rookie draft, you would go. The only thing that I feel good about right now, ever being worth more than probably a first, would likely be Fannin. Not saying you would ever be able to get that, but you could probably order the assets, the 201 Fannin, or switch those around if you wanted. And then Charbonnet and Tootin are great. Like for certain roster builds, I want to collect those types of guys. If I had 2 tight ends above Fannin and he told me I could get Charbonnet and Tootin and I needed those for my roster, like I'm fine doing that. It's not about the Fannin, the player. But I mean, you also could have just traded 2 career handcuff running backs for 2 assets that have some flexibility. So that I don't think that I'm not roasting you at all. Yeah. I can see both sides of this too. If the person with Fannin, that was their tight end 4, and they wanted Zach Charbonnet, who second half could be a league winner, like I'm totally fine doing something like that too.
Yeah, it's a decent bet on both sides. I'll take the liquidity and take your side. So good luck, Lawrence. Go get yourself some Fannin. It's the Fannin bye week. As Josh says, skate to where the puck's going to be. Let's just get ahead of it. Shane, Dylan Ebensider brings us back. What do you guys do in a league where firsts aren't massively valued? For example, guys like Tyreek Hill, DJM, KW9 before week 1 type guys. are getting moved for first. I I guess I'm getting to a lot of first if that's the case. Shane.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that ran through my head is all right. Well, I need to sell first. My hope is that they're still first, or excuse me, there's still players to buy. There's still first for me to be gotten to get. There you go. There's still first that I can get because that's what would have been doing. As soon as I saw Tyreek Hill go for a first, I would have been like, I got Mike Evans. What can I give? What can I get for him? I'll give you a second at Mike Evans for a first. You know what I mean? I would have looked at every old dude on my roster and tried to make that, or not even just old dudes that just don't have really that type of value outside of this league. So you should be trying to get them as many as you can. If 26 has already been exhausted, 27 here. Thank you. Like 27, 28. I know 28's far away. 29. No, it's trading 29s, but yeah, you get my point. Like I'm trying to get 26s. I'm trying to get the 27s for every dude that sold their 26 or woman. Every person that sold their 26, I'm trying to get their 27.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that might not be the price today, but those things are going to bubble up. Now, Sean Dillon goes on to say that he used to collect first, over the past couple of years, but he's always been forced to actually make these picks. Like there's not like he's getting into the offseason and then moving into the veterans he wants or what have you. So it's hard to move them for good players. So if you're knowing that you're making these deals just to get stuck picking, it also feels like you're probably just getting stuck with assets that are just going to have more shelf life or more runway. But are you in any leagues like that where first seems to be devalued and you just need to make those picks if you got them?
So I think the way that you play this, Dylan, is if all you did was able to swap players like Kenneth Walker, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore for first, you're always going to come out ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You always know when you're buying those types of players for a first, it's typically a bad bet because they're only as good as their production. Now, the problem is if all you have is rookies, second-year players, and third-year players, probably what happens is you're reluctant to trade the guys that you feel a little uncomfortable trading straight up for a single first. And then what also happens, Ty, let's say I have 15 firsts over the next 3 years, and I have to make all 15. 6 of those are just going to be complete flameouts. And you know what? Nobody will want those guys at all. So whether this is a pick-heavy league or a pick-devalued league, nobody is going to want the busted first that didn't hit at all. So now you have 9 good players. Now, some could be studs. Some you might get a Malik Neighbors. Another one you might get a Xavier Worthy. Another one you might get a Matthew Golden. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have different levels of players. And unfortunately, a good player that's not smashing, but also isn't as sexy as Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas, that's probably not the player in your league that's going to fetch a first, right? So what you're going to feel is you're stuck with a bunch of mid-tier young guys that until they're in that window where they're producing, they're not going to be able to be recycled for a first. So it is going to take you a while to get there. In the end, though, more shots, if you just took as many picks as you can over like a 4-year period, I guarantee you at the end, I would have the better team. Doesn't mean it wins. Because part of the value of buying power of first is when I need to plug a hole, I can go get it right now because I have the flexibility. And the league is not going to treat them like that. So just think about how you want to build. I think you still have to have a mix, but I'm with Shane. Like if I know the league is like this, I need to be better at figuring out when a guy gets in the Tyreek Hill or not even the Tyreek Hill because he's old. When he gets in the 27-year-old like Devontae Smith range, he's gone. Even if he's one of my starters, I have to have the discipline to continue to shoot higher with my picks. Don't just settle, I hit on this guy and he's been a solid player. No, if he's a solid player in year 4, year 5, it's time to go to the person that will give me a first. Mm-hmm. So just think about the process. That's a tough league to navigate because if you're in a lot of leagues like we are, they don't operate like this. There's always a market. If you're willing to sell your first, you can buy what you want, and that includes points.
Now, all the deals he listed out are kind of ISO first for a player deals. I'm curious what the market is. Did you add a first to a player to go up a level, or sure. is that market there, or is that still devalued as well? So go have some fun, Dylan. We'll see you next week for some more of these trades, and we'll figure out what to do with those first. Shane, last one here. Dylan Viraga. You would trade away Flacco for a 4th on a team that needs a few spot starts? Tried for a 3rd, but then I'd imagine it wouldn't do the deal.
Screw him. Nah, then he can start no one then. I don't care. No. I'll eat a fourth. Oh no, I lost a fourth. Oh, how will I ever survive? No, I'm good. See ya. Have you tried to move fourths? I know you have because I'm in
Oh,
leagues
yeah.
with you. So, and I've
Yeah.
probably added fourths to deals that I've sent to you.
It makes me less excited to press accept if the fourth is there.
Like the fourth, like look, I'm all about like, hey, it's great having every pick you can at your disposal, but literally a fourth holds absolutely no buying power, none whatsoever. Like I even feel bad adding it to offers, and I'm like, I kind of have to. That's just the law. I guess sure. Is it nice to have them during the draft time when someone wants to jump up because they can't believe their guy is still there in the fourth, and maybe you could get a future third for that purpose if that's what you want to do with it? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not though, partly out of spite. Just, I can't get a third out of you, then kiss my ass. Like
It's
go
not even
start
spite.
one.
I
No,
have
it's
no
spite on my
problem
behalf.
on your behalf, but just a rule of thumb, because this is going to come up week after week after week. The next Mac Jones, the next Flacco, like there's always somebody that something or some person needs in a short term. Here's the rule. I will always, at least for me, the way that I play Dynasty, I'm not looking at your roster and going, Ty, you're screwed. I'm going to try to bend you over the barrel or we're not trading. Right. The rule is it needs to help me. Don't send me something because that's the only thing you're willing to pay. It's same as if I'm a tanking team and you're trying to get my Hollywood Brown or something like that. Like I will give them to you for a fair price, but it has to help me in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
The 26-410 doesn't help me. I can't even see a world where it helps me right now. It helps me so little that I can't really feel the impact. But if I'm a contending team and you're a contending team, I'll still trade you Flacco if you need Flacco. But you got to give me something that can help me. A second for a third swap, something like that. A handcuff upgrade somewhere. Like it has to make sense. Just offering a fourth because I've had people say, oh, I would love to trade Mac Jones, but I just don't need him right now. So like I'll give you some fab. It's like, well, then we're just not, there's no point in me trading him. It just has to help me. Something that helps me. And that can be more than just a single pick. Because sometimes somebody doesn't want to pay for a third if they don't need something right now. I get that. I understand.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the reason why the fourth doesn't help me is because simply keeping Flacco on my team takes away something I need to do, right? Like it keeps me safe for another week. So I don't have to go and spend a third or a fourth on a quarterback. So that's where him being on your team is worth more than that pick. So all good there. And we will hit that sounder. We'll end it off. Shouts out Woo Bear. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And this has been the Dynasty Deals Show. So big thank you to Tony Perez, Sean W., Cameron B., Roy G., Mick Seamus, Dylan Ebensteiner, Lawrence Brouchar, Dylan Varaga, Russell Yost, and all of you for tuning in. We are the Dynasty Deal Show. We'll be here next Friday. Go enjoy your week. Go make some dope trades. See ya. We have this thing.